morning, this is George Lees again doing his sound testing in his private studio. How I'd love to make videos with Miss Hannah Rothschild in such an environment, and she can maybe explain some of the remaining mysteries in world ownership to me. Okay, when I get close up, does it get better like that? Okay, and when I go close to that computer, is it tolerated by the sound track? And when I go right up close and show you the little head of that bucket of ashes, which I believe will be the sun god Saul's ashes in the human piss take that made this mountainous human statue explode under an earthquake, over an earthquake created by the gods in the heavens and in the bowels of this earth. The Colossus of Rhodes, a god to equal the god. Okay, I wish that I had got a soundtrack like this first time I tried to make the movie on that theme. Yeah, with the Diddy men now replacing the gods. Okay, and there's the sun coming out, and that is me now taking this up to this one. I'm going to pretend that I'm making a video with an international celebrity like James Henry Fetzer, and I'm going to try and open my SKYPE issues. Okay, it's Emily Lloyd, wish you were here quotes. Oh, I don't know what would happen if I tried to get soundtrack into the computer, but let's now just go and going to let me get the news out to the rest of the world. Yeah, let me show you that. I do not longer have a SKYPE page, and that's Rupert Murdoch, who has taken down my huge video on how he defrauds the whole of the world's people by telling them that the murders of tiny children in Liverpool have been done by his board members. Yet all of the names that they launch into the news are covers for their boards, and that's why Gormley has resigned recently. Okay, so that's what I just got when I tried to test SKYPE for its viability. Okay, page not found. Let's get right up there and see whether or not we get hum, even when I'm right up close to the camera. Okay, this is George Lees revealing everything that Rupert Murdoch does to steal the whole world from its ordinary people. Let's have another go, and let's just watch what happens when I prompt for it again. Get going, God. No, they're not going to let me enter it without entering my password, and I've been able to do it without that because I've opted to have on SKYPE my entry password remembered eternally. on to SKYPE. Let's try sign in SKYPE. Oh no, they're not going to let me log in to SKYPE. Isn't it terrible what Rupert does? It's amazing how the gods cannot cope with him and give him pathologies, at least to my knowledge. Wendy, no, sorry, what's his new wife? Oh yeah, Miss Hall, maybe getting kicked to pieces with his restless legs. Happened before. Let's launch it from a Google base. Or let's just try logging on there. Ooh. 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 Oh, sorry. Right then. Steve Ipsuk with the word piezo in it wants to be my friend. No pictures. How did you sleep last night, Chris Martin? Right, let's see if I can find a friend. Test the sound system. Well, there's Gwyneth.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Hi Jim, it's George Lees in Scotland. I've got some sensational stuff for you. Arius Calpurnius Piso, that wrote the Bible, yet faked it up in 79 AD. He proclaimed himself to be St. Peter, who never ever lived, and the people that are the Coldplay band, that's centuries old play, they got first-class degrees in ancient world history. All four of them were historian scholars in London University, and they then become, when you look at the statues of Arius Calpurnius Piso, he's a dead ringer for Chris Martin. And she is, his ex-wife is Gwyneth Paltrow, and the irony of all of that is that Chris Martin, who knows this only too well, was the money man on the Pilgrim Fathers Mayflower. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, and I've got all the early papal lineages, and it takes you into everything that the TV and filmmaking companies do is to celebrate their might and their position on that world-owning bloodline. I think you got the gist of that already, but I was quite stunned when I saw all of this, and it ties in Oprah Winfrey again, and it ties in Shania Twain, and it ties in the woman that is Coat of Many Colours singer, that is Dolly Parton, and she's from the Parthenon, and she believes that she's a god like Shania. Shania was married to a mutt, and they are the kings of Egypt. When they die, they get wrapped in swaddling clothes like Jesus, and then they become a god. So can you hear this clearly, world outside?
Hi Jim, it's George Lees in Scotland. I've got some sensational stuff for you. Arius Calpurnius Piso, that wrote the Bible, yet faked it up in 79 AD. He proclaimed himself to be St. Peter, who never ever lived. And the people that are the cold clay band, that's centuries old clay, they got first class degrees in ancient world history. All four of them were historian scholars in London University, and they then become, when you look at the statues of Arius Calpurnius Piso, he's a dead ringer for Chris Martin. And she is, his ex-wife is Gwyneth Paltrow, and the irony of all of that is that Chris Martin, who knows this only too well, was the money man on the Pilgrim Fathers Mayflower. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, and I've got all the early papal lineages, and it takes you into everything that the TV and filmmaking companies do is to celebrate their might and their position on that world-owning bloodline. I think you've got the gist of that already, but I was quite stunned when I saw all of this, and it ties in
Plug out.
Oprah Winfrey again, and it ties in Shania Twain, and it ties in the woman that is coat of many colours singer that is Dolly Parton, and she's from the Parthenon, and she believes that she's a god like Shania. Shania was married to a mutt, and they are the kings of Egypt. When they die, they get wrapped in swaddling clothes like Jesus, and then
So, signing off, right up close to the camera and right up close to the screen, and that's 2-minute long chat with Jim. The only thing that differs now is that I have removed the microphone from my second computer, and that could be the root of all evil. Let me try it out now. And if that works, I'm just a conspiracy theorist. The microphone is there. It plugs in there. And it plugs in there. And it's on now. And let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, escape. Yeah, there's a tiny little bit of hum when you go close to that microphone. But let's just see if putting that in makes a difference. Can't understand why the computer's locked up. Where have you gone, camera? Can you still hear me without hum? And if I go right in amongst the electrical machinery, can we hear the hum? Okay, I cannot test out the microphone live on that, but now that it's plugged in, can you get hum? Yeah, that's, the computer is battery fed. There's no power lead in it, and that is also draining power from it. And there, if I hold that right up, you might be able to hear hum. Okay, master of the universe if I succeed. Oh no, sorry, I'm not supposed to use that label. Right then.
Hi Jim, it's George Lees in Scotland. I've got some sensational stuff.
Signing off. Okay, and I'll just have a word with Kate Nivo before I try and remake a video. Don't know what time it is in Iceland. Whether or not she will still be able to feel her fingers and get to the keyboard, but the weather here is amazing. Thank you to the gods for that. There's Gwyneth Paltrow. I'd love to have a chat to her again. Christina Perry, all of the world's fantastic Pizzo relatives. So there's Field McConnell, who no longer speaks to me. There's Andrew Carrington Hitchcock. Billy Carling, Brian Adams, all of them have joined me. Doris, Graham Forbes. So what was I going to ask him? No, let's see if we can get Kate. There she is. Oh, she's offline. Celine Dion's off her head with anger since I proclaimed that she is the moon goddess. So nobody else other than Jim. And there's Hillary Clinton. She's lovely. Yeah, do you get who the real spy is in the lead up to the election? Yeah, and that's why Rupert does not like me to talk to people now, especially about him and his massive scandals that were taken down off my website after we'd had 750 listeners. Right then, Bowden's not got a... and Grant Lees is online. See how all of my friends have deserted me, even in daytime. So let's see if Sean Maguire is in. Because the Irish are taking more interest than any other nation, and Sean's not in either. So I would like to release the secrets, but I doubt that I'm going to be able to. Let's try Croft. You might be out making floors. Right then. No luck again. All of my accomplices seem to want not to talk anymore. I could try Billy Carling. He's possibly aware of the religious fraud that was announced by the comedian called Carlin. Sorry, let's see if I can lay that even on the camera. Anyway, let's see if I can leave the camera sitting there with the plug out from the machine, and Graham Forbes, nice guy, and I'm very grateful to him for everything I have access to. Can't get his bell to ring. Handsome guy. So that's a good sound test.